Fuck out of here, cause these niggas is soft. Riding the track, cause I'm built like a Porsche. You don't want beef, you can catch it like North. Don't want me bullets, I'm back on my bullshit. I show you I'm roof, it's about my respect. I'ma step on it, nigga line up who next. I'ma give them lessons, but they say that they want. Keeping it blunt. Shout out Apollo and Phase on my niggas, what's up? Rope off the trunk and we ready to dump. Sending them shots and we leaving them slump.
Boom!
Yes, sir!
Baby! Y'all already know. America and the world. Hey, yo, cousin, you know we gotta give our disclaimer, you know what I'm saying? Gotta do it. We might have hurt somebody.
We would be keeping it blunt if we didn't.
Facts. So listen, America and the world. My name is the Six Faison. That's my cousin AJ, aka Apollo, aka AP. Am I right? Am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And guess who we got in the building today?
Oh man, y'all, we got another banger. First of all, let's just put it out there. Our second female, super happy about that, right, cousin?
Yes, man. We've been trying to get some female fighters on this show for a minute, but for some reason they've been dodging us.
They've been ducking, but listen, not fearless. Monica, Franco.
She ain't ducking nothing. She ain't ducking nothing.
Y'all may know her from Invicta. Y'all may know her most recently from Bareknuckleboxing, BKFC. Holla at your girl, right? Right, cousin? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
How you doing today, Miss Fearless?
Doing really good, guys. I seriously love that introduction. I love your intro. I've done a shit ton of podcasts throughout my lifetime, and I love the energy. And I definitely love the fact that you guys are Ohana.
That's awesome, man. Thank you for that. That was very sweet, man. I appreciate you. How was your day today? What was your day about today on a Saturday?
I was chilling with the Ohana. We went up to this place called Iosepa up in Utah, where the Hawaiians actually migrated from Hawaii when the pioneers wanted to come up, I guess, towards Utah. You know, that was the place that they had stayed. So that was pretty cool. Saw my first snake in real life. Don't like that. Didn't like that at all. Thank God my nephew has better eyes than me, because like we're like trying to walk up this little mountain, and then he's like, "Oh, auntie, look, the snake." I'm like, "What?" And then boom, was pretty close to us. I did not like that at all. I was just like, yo, I've always wanted, like, I'm a shark person because I'm from back home, you know, like that, like we connect to our ocean and stuff. I'm like, I'd much have rather seen a shark in real life than a freaking damn snake. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like, bruh, what the hell?
No, it always amazes me what makes a fighter like kind of freak out. Like I remember watching a clip on Khabib, of all people, freaking out about a cat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm
For
like,
real?
like, get out of here.
You'd be surprised, man. The toughest people, man.
Got these little things. Everybody's human at the end of the day, you know?
Like, yo, I don't do cockroaches.
See?
I can't do, the smallest cockroach. I don't care how big I am, bro. I'm walking around at 210 pounds right now, and I will run from a damn cockroach. Like,
yeah, no judgment. I get it. No judgment here. We got some big ass cockroaches back home on the islands too. We call them B-52s.
Oh shit! We got some pretty
big
big ones here in Florida. They call them palmetto bugs here.
Bugs. Yo, so but you mentioned about how do you say family again?
Ohana.
You mentioned Ohana. So one of my questions off the rip.
Sure.
What makes you Hawaiian so damn tough? I got a friend. He's a Marine, right? And his name is Kenny. Mm-hmm. Shout out Kenny. And he told me this story.
Shout out
Kenny. And he told me this story about how he was stationed there, or he was visiting there, like in the Marines though. And he was like, bro, I was keeping it peaceful the whole time I was there. I didn't want no smoke. You know what I'm saying? Like, what makes y'all BJ Penn, Max Holloway, and the list goes on. There's women, there's all kind of, what is it about the Hawaiian blood, man?
I honestly, the more like I'm learning more about my culture and stuff like that, especially the part where I grew up, that was a little where Max grew up, basically is the same place that I grew up. warriors were forged there. That's part of our lineage. I found that out from my oldest nephew. I had no idea. He like showed me like the history of it on Instagram, but I genuinely think it's just innate, in us. It's our roots. But some of the greatest warriors was forged out of Waianae, from my understanding, and I think just like growing up, like I was telling the other podcaster, I've watched a lot of bare knuckle scraps, between cousins, or just like high school fights, or just crazy shit, that goes on back home in that type of an area. But I chalk it up to roots and just the genetics of some kind is my honest answer.
Roots.
Oh yeah,
In the
that's
blood,
what's up, man. Because you Hawaiians you are truly built different, like for real.
dude.
Max
That's so
Holloway is my favorite fighter of all time.
Oh,
Like
right on.
I'm a big super like my cousin gives me shit about it all the time because I'm like a super duper Max Holloway fan.
Super.
Oh, that's so cool. I got a story for you at some point about your favorite fighter. That's
Oh,
pretty cool.
tell me, please.
Right now,
Yeah,
go for it.
it was my pro debut. I was like a really, really, really bad weight cut and shit, but I ended up getting a spinning back fist knockout back home in Hawaii. And then when I went back to to the back rooms to like, unravel and shit, Max came up to me. He's like, "Yo, you would have just got 10 grand already if you're in the UFC."
I would have cried.
And he would
That
have.
was a 10 grand bonus right there.
That's his
Man.
guy. He loves him some Max Holloway.
Times like we're not like super buddy, but like we know of each other because we grew up in the same fight circuit, around the
Yeah,
same.
yeah. And Hawaii's a small island, man. You
Mhm.
guys are like
Yeah.
right there.
Mhm. Yeah, so yeah, that's so cool. That's cool to hear that Max is one of your favorite fighters.
Did you
Solid.
ever get
We got a
to
lot
The
of them back
favorite
home,
fighter.
though.
The like number one.
We got a lot of them back home, though. We got a lot of good,
Oh,
good talent.
I know. You guys got y'all got some bangers, man, for real.
Did you ever get the chance to meet BJ Penn?
I did about a year and a half ago when, wait. No, maybe about 2 years ago now, when I was back home before I moved up to Utah. I was working at a tiki bar and he was all fucking drunk. I was just, and
I was
I'm
like,
like, hey, be, bare knuckle. Oh yeah, sister, right on, keep going, keep going. But he was all boss and everything. So Chinatown, that's the place to go back home for like party and shit. Like that's like one of the places that is like a black hole. You freaking go, and then the next scene is like the next morning already. You're like, what happened? But that was my only encounter with BJ.
Yeah,
so
shout out BJ Penn, man. Just for bringing him up, I want to say this just because I don't want to say his name without saying this. I hope he's doing well. I
word,
hope his mental health is doing well.
word,
And
No,
like,
me
I really,
too.
you know what I'm saying? Like, shout out BJ Penn, man.
Me
Legendary
too.
legend,
Baby J.
legend.
Yeah, man.
He has
Shout
some.
out to you guys. Like much mahalos for like, oh, that's so like cool that you guys know the history of our fighters.
Oh,
So
yeah, man. Big fan from a long time, very long time.
Oh yeah,
have you guys ever been to the islands yet?
I have not.
no,
Okay, so we'll have to go at some point.
I would
We'll
love
get
that. That would be
we'll
dope.
have to make it happen. We'll make that shit happen,
My
guys.
I was
We'll
supposed to
make it
go. I was
happen.
supposed to go with my best friend, my brother, rest in peace, Dre, who passed away.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah, I was supposed to go with him, and he ended up going on a family vacation. I couldn't make the trip. I was having
okay.
little passport issues and stuff. I mean, sorry,
Yeah.
not passport issues, but money issues to get
True.
the flight and stuff. Anyway, long story short, but he had a great time, and he was telling me about like different islands, how one
Right.
island is like city and like
Yes.
really like populated and stuff like that, and then there's other islands where like really like rural. You got to pretty much
Yes.
climb everywhere you got to get to and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy. He showed me he caught a tuna, and while reeling the tuna in, it got bit in half by a shark.
Oh,
That's
oh,
great.
wow. I
That's
always
great.
watch shark shit on YouTube, so I believe that. Oh, that's
Yeah,
wild.
yeah. He went out there with some family and had a good trip, man. I wish I would have went with him.
Oh, good for him. Good for him. And he's correct. Every island offers its different personalities, and I really hope that they don't fuck it up with all the other islands. And Oahu is the most metropolitan, the one that I grew up on. So keep it there. But I don't know because Maui has been in development for years, and like they look like they're trying to, build shit up over there. I hope it doesn't happen. But yeah, so totally.
Yeah, man. I wish they keep Hawaii in
Hawaii.
its natural state and as beautiful as it's always been.
Yeah.
Right.
My so just one last thing I have to say about Hawaii. So my son, he's 13 years old, right? I'm a single parent father, and my son's 13, and he a couple of years ago was very mature and said to the family, like, you know what? For my birthdays, I really don't want like gifts, I mean, they're cool, but I want experiences. So so he was supposed to go to, long story short, he was supposed to go to a Drake concert and it didn't happen. Tickets were bought, everything was good, but his uncle got sick. So he couldn't go. So we were watching an episode of My Wife and Kids. And on that episode of My Wife and Kids, where did they go? Hawaii. And it was like I think it was like a 2 or 3 episode series on their vacation in Hawaii. So don't you know? He tells my sister, he's like, you know what I want to do for my birthday now? She's like, what? He's like, go to Hawaii. And this ain't the first time he said that. So that's
awesome.
We got to take a trip out there.
Yeah.
And shout out to the single dads out there, bro. You guys don't get enough credit. I mean, I like how you guys do this little shout out. Shout out to the single dads who are like working and actually taking care of their keiki. So
yeah, shout out to them for real, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I don't always know if I'm doing the right thing, but I do the best I can. You feel me?
Yeah, that's all we can do at the end of the day. So
that's
for sure. So let's learn a little bit about you.
Yes.
Miss Fearless.
Sure.
So let me ask you a question. All right. Mm-hmm. If your younger self, let's see, if your younger self saw you now, what would she say to you?
Oh, that's a good question, cousin. I like it.
That's a good question. I think she would say, wow, you've really come a long way from who you are at this moment. You know what I mean? She would probably be inspired by her. And yeah, I think that's what it would be. That's a really great question. I've never been asked that question. So
Thank you.
she would be inspired. She would want to, I would feel like she would want to do what I am doing right now. So yeah.
Ultimate goal, I mean, you are the one. I mean, we always want to reach the top, right? You are the star. Shout out to like my Ohana. Power to go far. Believe in yourself, and you will see.
And that's the best possible answer you could give. Because, there's so many people out there that'd be like, oh, my younger self would be so disappointed in me. Or she would be like, why did you do this? Or why did you do that? And you, your younger self would be so proud of you because you've done exactly what you set out to do. And that's amazing.
Right. That's true, though. People do normally have that natural reaction because I've heard that question been asked and they do say stuff like that. So shout out to you for pointing that out.
Yeah, that was beautiful. For sure.
Yeah, people tend to lean towards the negative, It's like I was trying to teach my son, there's a lot of things that will make you happy, but I think one of the things that really brings upon happiness is, accomplishing goals you set out to achieve. So I imagine that's why little Fearless would be like, yeah.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Like with her popcorn, she'd be like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so that's
shed a little tear watching you go, like,
Word.
Made me shed some tears. That's why I was just like, composure.
Oh man.
So if you don't mind, I want to glaze you for a second.
Yeah.
So what I like in your style from what I could see is you got heavy hands. So I like that. I enjoy that.
She packs a punch. She really does. I didn't expect that from her. She caught me a few times and it kind of woke me up though.
I enjoy the way you cut angles for sure. And I'm not gonna lie, like one of my other favorite things is every now and then you give me that bladed Taekwondo stance that I love to see. People like MVP or like, you know, Wonder Boy. So those are some of the things that I enjoy when I see you do your thing, for sure.
Wow, that's super. Yeah, you guys are so IQ fight. Like, I mean, I talked to a lot of podcasters, but you guys really do bring the fight IQ because
Thank you.
that is one of the things that I have been like working on more is like that lateral angles because I feel like I have an advantage there.
It shows.
And so I do think though my last fight I had to anyways I'm going off on a tangent. Ikalamai, which means excuse
No,
me.
feel free, speak freely.
It's okay.
But yeah, you're right. It depends on the matchup, especially when it came to MMA. It depended on the matchup, and I was because I was always concerned about the takedowns. I was always kind of like making sure my kicks were like at specific times or not as high, you know, where they can be caught and all that stuff. So it really depended on the matchup as to how I played in MMA. But with bare knuckle from my last two fights, the first one I was more that one I was like I was fighting against basically altitude. That was my first time fighting in altitude. It was another last minute fight. My fight training at that point was kind of up and down because of my life at that time. So my first fight in bare knuckle, I played a lot of counter off of her and I pressed for sure. Um my second fight, I was more lateral and I definitely was more heavy dirty on the inside and I felt like I could have been more lateral at times for sure. I felt like she caught me a few really good ones that I now know like, okay, that shit can't happen. So I think um with that being said, this upcoming fight, which is going to be like phenomenal and one of their biggest events for BKB in their history of their promotion.
I think I saw
Is
you
this
sign.
live?
You just signed like a three fight contract, right, with them, right?
Yeah. Is this live or do you guys edit?
No, we edit.
We had it. We had it.
Okay. I'm gonna give you guys the inside scoops. It hasn't been announced yet, but I'm fighting. But with this particular fight, I'm gonna have, and I like to fight open stance now, so I can do ortho and south. With her, she's ortho, so I'm gonna be south. So I want to really work that outside, but blitz the inside from time to time. And I feel like I really got to mix it up on her. Like I got to be in and boom, 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 or all the way out. And I got to be as lateral as possible with my
Yes.
chin down and my, you know, higher guard. Things in
Mm-hmm.
things in BKB is just a little bit more sharper than
But
like
one thing
MMA.
about you, you have something that a lot of fighters wish they had, which is that dynamite. Like I've watched a few of your fights, and like when you touch someone's chin, they drop.
Yeah.
Like when you fought Angela Lee,
Yeah.
like you dropped her in the opening exchange, like right
Yeah.
away. As soon
Yeah.
as you touch her, and it didn't even really connect that clean, but she
Yeah.
folded. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
Do you
Yeah, you're right.
do you get the opportunity to like practice in the trigon? Because I imagine the trigon is different than the circle.
Not yet, but I'm just making sure I'm like in a super when I'm training, I'm in like small space now because it is the smallest surface in combat sports.
Yeah, the
They have, you know what I mean? Yeah, the Trigon.
I would love to try to fight there.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I gotta be really lateral with her. You know, she's a good I'm ready. Like I'm so excited for this fight. With the exception of Haley Cowan and Invicta, and maybe even Tina Pettigrew, because Tina came out of Dominic Cruz's fight camp. Haley, in my honest opinion, I think she can be a champion in the UFC at 135 one day. Like I genuinely feel
Yeah, I
that.
watched that fight. That was a really good fight, though. You guys had really good exchanges.
Yeah,
So if you feel like that about her, like she's up here, that means you right up here too. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
Yeah, no, but like I was telling, I've been training with high level my whole life, you know, like, and then the girls that I fought, they all went on into Invicta, UFC, ONE FC. Angela was a champion for ONE FC. I fought Raquel Pauluhi, my first fucking MMA match, and she almost beat Amanda Nunes at one point. And if you go and you watch that fight with Raquel and Amanda in Invicta FC, like Raquel had her. I just think something mentally slipped up for her or something, but Raquel is legitimately good. But she
Yeah.
went into jujitsu. Like she's successful and like just has been super flourishing in jujitsu. But yeah, man, we fight a lot of high level people on a daily basis, and we train with them. So I'm just like, it's about time like they finally match me up against somebody like this as well.
So quick pivot off of that for a second. I'm very interested about this question. This is probably a deep or serious question, but I'm a fan. I'm not a fighter. My cousin, he's a fighter. He does some amateur fights. Okay, I'm not a fighter. So if this question sounds a little crazy, I apologize in advance. But
you're good.
Is there, especially like being a woman, is there has there ever been in your career a struggle with like wanting to start a family and staying on the path of the warrior? Because I can imagine, because it's beautiful to have a family, but then it's like it takes time away, and you got to pregnant. You know what I mean? Like, does any of that has that ever crossed your mind, or has that ever been a struggle for you?
Honestly, for me, no, because I have a lot of nieces and nephews. I never really wanted my own children for me, So plus I'm into chicks. So like
Oh yeah. Me too.
That's he said me too. Me three.
But yeah, so it wasn't really a struggle for me in that sense. Sure. My struggles came from other stuff like outside life shit, relationship shit, and addictions and just trauma, dealing with uproots, stuff that you don't understand as a child, that trauma resurfaces, and we do shit. So all of that was
shout out to you for their strength and overcoming all of those obstacles and still becoming the badass that you are today.
Straight up.
Mahalo.
People get lost and stuff like that, so for sure.
Yeah, for real. Well, I got another question for you. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So if fighting were taken from you today, what would fill that void?
Just the competing part of it? Just
fighting in general. Like you no longer can fight.
Okay. Yeah, the competing part. The fighting, yeah, that's the competing part.
Yeah. Well, I think obviously my businesses, because I'm a huge entrepreneur. So I'd be doing something in business. It would be my clothing line. And probably obviously maybe some kind of personal training of some kind is what I am looking towards, like training people and stuff. Am I allowed to train people?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You're not fighting. You're training them to fight. So
that's my ultimate transition anyways. It's going to be, I want to train people and build my brands and stuff like that. So entrepreneur.
Awesome. Real quick, can we take a look at the gear? Like,
I was gonna say, what is?
Yeah, let's see what you got. Like
808 just blazed.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, send my cousin the link to all your stuff, and we'll drop that in the detail box of the YouTube video when we put it up.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. And then I'll
shout out the Instagram, all that right now, real quick. Instagram,
everything,
whatever you're on.
Yeah, well, I'm at Instagram and Facebook. My Instagram is Fearless Monica Franco 808, and then just Monica Franco on Facebook.
All right.
Yeah. And they can get merch. Where can they get merch from?
They can go to,
but
they can go on my Instagram and look up my link tree, or they can just go to justblazeclothing.com. And then we have our a bunch of collections over there. My business partner is amazing. So yeah.
You hear that? Y'all shop Just Blaze. You heard?
How long has Just Blaze been out?
I just hopped on with him when I met him at my BKFC fight in Miami. Miami. I've been with him for a year and a half or so now, but he's had it out for a good 4 to 5. So, we're just looking to take it to the next level and grow it. And it's coming along. Our area code collection on there is coming along. We like to personalize it. Like I showed you some stuff the other day, 215, the 215 one, the Philadelphia. Yeah. So we like to put like our area code collection, but we got a bunch of different stuff on there. And with every purchase on the Just Blaze clothing part, a portion does go to the Pakalolo, which is marijuana, Pakalolo Rehab Clinic.
Okay. They call it in Hawaii?
Yeah.
Pakalolo?
Pakalolo?
Yeah.
Oh, so I gotta know. I know what to look for when I go. So
Yeah.
Pakalolo.
Yeah. So we do give a portion of proceeds to a clinic that helps transition people from opioids onto Pakalolo. And then my specific Hawaii Vice 808 collection, like as it continues to grow, it's going to be connected to a foundation back home called the Pahoa Mananui Foundation, because I want the money to actually be going back to our people. Because some of my cousins on Maui have told me that a lot of the Lahaina funds and shit haven't really been going back to the people. So my end goal with that is to make it flourish so that it can go back home in some way.
Okay, so AKA everybody, it's a good cause on top of some dope gear. So go grab some right now.
Go grab that.
Go grab some.
And eventually I'll send you guys some gear just because.
I'd love it. I love some of that.
Oh yeah, I will rock it, man. You'll see me on the next episode. Like,
yo.
We'll stay in correspondence and we can figure it out for sure.
Mm-hmm. Oh, of course.
Oh, for sure. Oh, you're family now, so we're staying in correspondence regardless. I'm gonna be
you're officially Keeping It Blunt fam.
Yes, good.
Yeah. So
for sure.
It's always good to build network, just have like-minded people. Like, I don't even like in my personal life, I don't even like, I knew one female that she watched fights with me because the men were half naked. Like, I don't know anybody who's like into it. That's a female. So are you crazy? Like, I'm gonna be like, yo, did you see that fight last night? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. Yeah. I'm down with that.
Yeah, I don't really know many fight girls. Shout out Bretta Stice. Bretta Stice is one of the only fight girls that I know.
She be honest, Bretta Stice. And she's not a fighter, she's just a fan, but she be honest. She be knowing.
Yeah, she knows her shit.
Oh, nice. That's solid.
But so I do have a funny question.
Okay.
Have you ever tried Bucked Up?
Have I? Oh, no, I have not. The actual drink?
Yeah, because that's the drink for BKFC. Never had
I have not. Nope. Never did.
I don't even know where to get it because I haven't seen it in any stores or anything either.
Well, evidently they're based out of Utah. Funny enough.
You didn't taste it?
No, shout out to this is what I'm on. This is the real right here. Shout out to Clear Path, if you can hear Clear Path.
Yeah.
Okay,
so this is the shit that I'm on because it's all natural and it does give you, it's just good. I'm on this shit, you know what I mean? Like that's my shit. So
yeah.
It does just a lot of wonderful things for it. So but yeah, no bucked up.
No bucked up. Cousin, I can keep firing them. What you got, cousin? You got one?
No, I got some questions. I got some questions.
Right? The mic.
What's one question that you wish people would just stop asking you? That just bothers the shit out of you.
Word. You guys on fire today.
One question I wish people would stop asking me. I don't know. I mean, I feel like a lot of people, I'm sorry, because I'm not that popular, so people don't really ask me questions unless we're talking about like podcasters.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. You're popular with us.
Yeah, well, hey, when I looked you up on YouTube, you came right up. People know you.
Oh,
and many fights, and you've been, from what I tell, I see fights from 12, 13, 14 years ago. Like you've been doing this shit a minute.
Yeah.
You're a real OG of this game.
You're on Tapology with the picture. Yeah. Like people know. I mean, we know. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I appreciate that.
But even though, go ahead. Sorry.
The one question, maybe the superficial ones, which is like, oh, what? How did you come into fighting? Oh no, I don't know. It's not superficial because I can get deep with that. I get deep, but I'm
It's
sorry.
it's a repetitive question though. Everybody asks that.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry.
I like to go a little bit deeper with my questions. I like to really tap in because everybody knows you as a fighter, but I want to know who, you know what I'm saying, Monica
Well,
really
yeah,
is.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
you know, that's like me. I have a question that I want to ask you. That it's a like a it's a like a spin-off to that question. I didn't want to ask you, oh, so when did you start or why did you
Right.
start? You know, I didn't want to ask
Right.
that. So the way I spun that question was if I could find it was oh man. Um
You're good.
um where is it?
all right, while you look for that, I got a question.
No,
Oh,
here
go
it is.
ahead, go, 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 go.
I got it. So we started at 15 in martial arts and we're
Mhm.
now in our 40s, correct?
Correct. Just turned
So
40.
just turned 40, so happy birthday. So, you know, like what's something special about your journey that we should know? Because everybody has a journey and you had ups and downs. And I don't necessarily mean struggling with something. I just
Yeah,
mean
yeah.
like within like the fight game, what's something that maybe um, held you back or propelled you forward? What's because everybody, in other words, you know, right now you about to be in BKB, you was in BKFC. That's up there. You was co-main event. That's up there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So what's something in that time frame from 15 to 40 that makes your journey special? At least even to just to you that you want to share.
Um, well, it's not going to even be anything of what you might be thinking because really the special part of the journey has always been the support of my ohana.
Okay.
That's been the most special part of
That's
it.
what's up. I
So
love
Like,
how family oriented you are.
yeah, I think it's just part of our culture. I think our culture makes things so special for us. But yeah, just even throughout it, like the wins, the losses, the struggles in life, the support, the unconditional support from close cousins. That's why I love that you guys are like that because I have some cousins that are near and dear to my heart, and then I have cousins who I would love to bare knuckle the hell out of them because they were just bullies and assholes growing up.
word.
And then so my cousins and then my immediate household with my parents, my brother, my sister-in-law, and all of my nieces and nephews has been the special part of my journey. And I don't think I realized it up until just recently, getting older, getting more mature and processing things. So that is going to be the answer moving forward here on out. So I appreciate that question.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
love that answer. I love that answer.
But go ahead, cousin. You were going to say something before we had a
So
trans.
yes, I got another deep question for you.
Sure.
And just to pick your brain because I love your philosophical answers, man. You're really you're 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 very in tune with yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's up.
Appreciate that.
So if you had to fight different versions of yourself in a tournament, which
Hmm.
version of you would win?
That's a good fight. I mean, good question.
A different version of myself in the tournament, which version of myself would win?
Say like your younger self, then
Mhm.
maybe your yourself in your 20s, or yourself
Sure.
after maybe a traumatic experience, or yourself
Sure.
after a really high in life. You know what I
Right.
mean?
I would have to say this version of myself where I am right now with bare knuckle against the version where I was on um my winning streak in my MMA career when I was fighting at 125. Those two versions would be the best matchup for sure.
Who do you think will win?
I think the bare knuckle
Hell
because
yeah.
because like that version was still really good and I still flurried up a lot, but just have so much more lateral movement and head movement into my game now. I feel more explosive and quicker than I did. Well, I don't know. I was pretty explosive and quick back then, but I just think just the lateral movements more than anything and playing ambidextrous more like, yeah, I think this version would beat that version. But
Yeah.
but I think it would go to decision.
Oh yeah.
Hilarious.
I love that answer.
I wish we could do some kind of like AI generated fights.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Oh, that'd be cool. That's wild.
Soon. AI has come so far, man. I wouldn't be surprised. Pretty soon, you could
No, for real.
say whatever you want, and it'll make it happen.
Bruh, that's wild. But yeah, so true.
I know.
Yeah. Ain't nobody knocking me out, or at least at that point. If I get dropped, like at least in bare knuckle, I don't get choked out. You know what I mean? Like I get the 10 count. I'm standing.
Yeah. We get hell yeah.
You ain't taking me out of there unless I'm like fully like just no, sorry, it's not gonna happen. Got another thing coming.
Oh yeah.
I think that's the one thing that some of the people who don't fight like for a living or professionally don't seem to really realize. Like you can only block with so much. Like part of fighting is how well you can take damage too. You know, how well you can avoid damage, how well you can take damage, and then of course how well you can give damage.
Yes.
I knew a fighter, shout out Cody. I know this fighter that which could be a little bad at times for him, but his whole theory is to mess with your mind. He's trying to walk through your punches. He's trying to take damage. So that way it messes with your mind. Like, oh, okay, so you gave me your best shot. You see how I just walked through it. Now it's
right.
But he's like a seal. So he's a little cuckoo. But that's a crazy way to think about it though. It's like, you know what I mean? So you got to be able to take it as well as you can give it. And I think a lot of people forget that part.
Absolutely. Because taking it is also a skill set because you got to like roll with it, like breathing, like everything comes into play. So
breathing
is a skill set that you need to learn how to take some damage because if not, you're totally screwed, you know? So,
yeah, people forget how big of a, I'm glad you said that because people forget how big of a part of fighting breathing takes. Yeah. And they're like thinking like, oh, you're breathing the whole time. Like no, because there's times like where you'll tense up. Like I've caught myself doing it where I'll tense up and let go of like a 6-shot combo. And then by the time I'm done, I'm like, oh, because I just held my breath to hold that. You know what I mean? I was tense the whole time. I wasn't controlling my breathing.
Yep. You're so right. No, I always, even when I'm training my guys over here, I'm just like, breathe. You like corner man, you hear it all the time too. Like breathing is so like one of the things because as fighters, you know what you're doing in there. Coaches are just there kind of like giving you little tidbits like distance, level change, whatever. Watch your angles, chin down, breathe because like that's so important,
Yeah. It is, especially when you become conscious of it. When you hear your coach yell that at you, breathe, and now you're consciously breathing. You're no longer automatically breathing. You know what I mean? Now you're like paying attention to every breath, and that's very important in fighting. People don't realize that, man. I'm glad you pointed that out.
Or even in just high level sports in general.
Yes,
breathing.
Yes.
Because that's the life. The Hawaiians have the same with aloha, the breath of life, right? So
I like that.
It's true because when you breathe, even if you're dying, if you can just breathe and breathe, like it just gives you just a little bit more every time because you're breathing, you're circulating, things is flowing. So yeah.
Yes, for sure.
So is there any like, I mean, so how can a fighter train to breathe? Like, is there like meditation? Does that help?
There's a lot of different things. Like you got the Wim Hof breathing technique as well. I just think it's awareness and practice and just, like I tell everybody all the time, your body's doing this, but you cannot be breathing like that. Right. You know what I mean? You gotta be.
Yeah.
As your body's doing something else. And then in MMA or like when you're like in that tense up, it's a different, like your body has like, is going through a different movement. So you still got to control it. You're like pushing up against them on the cage, your body's tense. You still got to be like. So yeah, it's just years and years of practice and effort and making sure you're doing it. Really.
Yeah, you seem like a great coach. I would love to take a class by you.
Come down. I'm in Utah. I
Yeah,
feel like I have a great coach. All of the people I quartered back home, they weren't my fighters, but they didn't lose, and I was in their corner. So
hell yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, you got
yeah,
a way of bringing that calm, that sense of awareness about, you know what I'm saying? Like that's good, man. I really like that.
I want to eventually give back and train champions at some point because
Hey,
give my manao and like what I've been through, learn from me, cut it out, and like just get better from it, and like let's just go and rise to the top. So yeah, for sure.
Definitely,
oh,
definitely.
keep us posted on that. We'd love to be a part of that. To talk about
Absolutely.
that. What's a favorite? And if you can't answer this question, I understand.
Sure.
What's a favorite combo that you like?
I like my hooks, as you know. I like my straight, my hook, my my 2-3-2, just my straight hook straight is one of my favorites because like I catch people on the inside with my hooks. So I really like those. Um, but I'm hoping to develop my uppercut a little bit more for moving forward so that I can, because I do like a 6-3-2 as well, bang, 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 right on the inside.
Mm,
Yeah, I like that. So, and then I'm just trying to work body shots more too as well. Um, I'm hoping you should look to see in this upcoming fight a lot of like, I'm going to look to like play the body more because I notice when I'm doing that, their hands drop and then boom, the top then comes open. So
yeah,
I'm
that
going to,
level change opens up everything.
yeah. Plus the body is just always there, it's just always there.
Yeah, because everybody's up here,
Uh huh.
especially in bare knuckle.
Uh-huh. Or this is happening. It's much easier to catch this than it is this
Yeah.
Yes,
sometimes.
definitely. Yep, yep, yep.
And then if you're like a taller fighter too, why am I gonna try and like reach up? I'm just gonna hit what's right the fuck in front of me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like it's
Oh
just
yeah.
easier. So, but yeah.
So, a question: have you
Mhm.
ever felt any guilt after a win, or like maybe the opposite feeling, maybe like relief after a loss?
Um, I've never felt any relief after a loss. I have felt like maybe not necessarily guilt, but just when you have those performances when you could have done better and you
Mm-hmm.
didn't give the best that you can. I guess more of a sense of disappointment is what I would feel after those moments. Didn't happen a lot like towards the latter part of my career, but in the beginning part, as you're learning and you're growing and stuff, so there were a few fights where I felt like I didn't give it my all and I felt like I could have, and that led to like the disappointment and all that thought process and stuff more than anything.
Word.
Okay.
Word.
Oh
I can
yeah.
see that disappointment. I can see that. Like, dang, I knew I could have gave more. Or I've been practicing
Right,
this. I've been practicing this one thing for weeks. I
right.
didn't even use it. I didn't even get it off. Like,
Yeah, yeah. And there's
Exactly.
times where like
you can
you see
see
an
it.
open shot, and then like you want to throw it, but for some reason you don't, and
Hmm.
you're like, shit, man, I should have threw that punch. Like,
Yeah, yeah. That kind of stuff. That kind of
yeah,
stuff is
yeah, definitely.
hmm. So now I'm just like the mentality. As long as I go in there and do my best and give it my all, which is what I've always wanted to do. But in MMA, I felt I was just always, it's a different game. You got takedowns. I could never unleash the way I can now. So this last fight in bare knuckle, I definitely felt proud of myself. Even though I got cut up, I'm glad I got cut up. I've never gotten cut up in a fight before, and
That was a banger.
completely key. So like, yeah, man, I'm
You got that experience now.
yeah. So definitely just as long as I know I'm going in there and giving it my all,
I
the
mean,
rest is, you know.
would you ever be open to the idea of taking another MMA bout, or is it all bare knuckle from here on out in your career?
Yeah, I saw bare knuckle. I grew up as a striker too, and like I was mentioning before to like some of my friends and stuff, like when you grow up and you watch like about in Waianae, you don't really see much takedowns. I don't know how it is now, but like when I was watching scraps, they didn't really take each other down. You blow for
Yeah,
blow.
you throwing hands.
Yeah, it's all hands and I grew up in taekwondo, like around that, and then taekwondo was striking, and so yeah, I love striking. I've always loved uh that aspect of combat sports. However, I'm so grateful for my MMA career because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be doing bare knuckle. You know, like it's just it feels the same to me. So I feel like, you know, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, the most you see is like some bitch grabbing hair and like doing this kind of shit, but they wasn't trying to like, you know.
Yeah. They wasn't taking it to the ground and getting in full guard and all that.
And I imagine the clinch too is a little different because you're not worried about knees or foot stomps.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. The clinch is a little bit different. But I like the fact that BKB allows us to work in the clinch a little bit more than BK.
Yes,
Yeah, a
they
little bit
do.
more
They
than
do.
BKFC. So
is there any other differences besides the trigon and that between BKB
no,
and
just the trigon and the clinch, the clinch work that's allowed in my opinion.
Have you ever thought about trying out for Mike Perry's Dirty Boxing?
I seen that, but nah, I'm good.
I feel that. I feel that. You
But
already got
she's
your
gonna
feet
be
set in the
fighting. I'm
BKB.
gonna be watching that fight because my opponent's fighting in June for Mike Perry's Dirty Boxing.
Okay,
So yeah, we're gonna
I'll
have
keep
to
an eye
watch
out on
that
that
one,
too.
guys.
Hell yeah.
yo, watch party? That'd be dope. I'm talking about
Yeah,
that'd be
maybe we
dope.
should figure that out. We should figure that out.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
should.
that'll be fun as fuck.
That's in
We could probably
June.
do that on I think they have an option for that on YouTube Live.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, we could definitely try to work something out for sure, man. We gotta stay in touch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Figure that out. Definitely got to figure that out.
So let me ask you one of my famous questions that I love to ask. It's one of my favorite questions that I ask. I don't know why. I just love this question. So, if you could walk out with any animal to represent you, like your fighting style or you as a person, what animal are you walking out with?
Oh, that's a cool question. Never had that question answered. Okay, let me think about this one because there's a lot out there.
a shark.
I was thinking that. I was thinking shark.
Get out of my head. Get out of my head.
Yeah, I was gonna go with shark. I would say shark. I love
Yeah,
shark.
especially being from Hawaii too.
Yes, absolutely.
I
Yeah,
gotta
it
say
would
it
be shark.
correctly, Hawaii.
Yeah, it would be a tiger shark.
Is the
Oh
shark
yeah, and those
is
are
the
aggressive.
shark to you the same like the cow in India? Like, is it sacred? Like, would you eat a shark or no? It's like no way.
Nah, we wouldn't eat a shark. I think the shark to us is one of our amakuas. So yeah, we don't like no, we respect, our nature and stuff like that. And yeah, the shark is our amakua. So, and it is the tiger shark because that's the one that is most that exists on our island. So I'd be walking out with a tiger shark.
Sure.
Oh yeah, that's fire.
Now, here's a question that's totally like left field,
Okay.
might catch you off guard. What is the reason for the profound respect you have and admiration for Kobe Bryant?
Oh, nice. I love that question. It's because of how hard he had to work and how even though he wasn't afraid of the moment, even though he like fucked up so much, especially in the younger part of his career, like fucked up a lot but he wasn't afraid. He just went at it. He went at it with like the top contenders straight out of high school and he had to work his ass off and like his footwork is phenomenal. I mean, just the things that he's done throughout his career and also him having to grow up in the public and fucking up and then like, growing from that and getting better from that and then just listening to like all of his podcasts with everything and they just it just inspires me. It always has. um yeah, he's the man. He's always going to be the man. Like he's clutch. I'm always going to think he's clutch. He's fearless and he's got freaking he could play mid-range, post game. He had his threes, he was very well rounded. There's so many things about him and his IQ. Uh yeah, that I do have a very deep.
Oh yeah, it's
Like
crazy.
Mamba.
I feel the same way about Kobe. So to hear you speak that way about Kobe, he was like, I got three, like my big three when it comes to sports.
Okay.
It's Derek Jeter,
Okay.
Kobe Bryant,
Okay.
Max Holloway.
Nice. Oh, that's a cool. Do you have a big three in sports, whatever it might be?
Me?
You? Yeah, yeah.
No, well, Kobe Bryant. I love Kobe Bryant. I have one of his books. I think. So let me answer the question, then I'll get back to how I feel about Kobe Bryant. It would be Kobe Bryant. When I was younger, I was really into basketball, right? So
Yeah.
I like Patrick Ewing. That was my guy.
Okay.
And
Oh
then,
yeah, yeah.
and then like football. Um, I really didn't have anybody in football. But now and like fighting, um, there's so many that I love, but probably one of my top favorites probably be like the Diaz brothers. You know what I'm saying? I love that they will fight in Russia and like they're not on the show no more. Diaz is just so Diaz. As
Word.
far as Kobe though, so I've been talking to my son about Kobe Bryant ever since he passed away. Kobe.
Yeah.
And my son was he's a cute kid, So at the time he was all torn up by it, which is funny because he didn't even watch basketball, but it just touched his soul. And so that was the time I bought the book. I learned so much about him. I mean, and there's this saying that Grant Cardone made very popular. It's called "Be obsessed or be average." And Kobe Bryant was obsessed. I mean, to the point where the man made a sneaker with the built-in sock just because it gave him seconds. In his mind, he was losing seconds from the friction of the sock in the shoe. That's obsessive, right? And that's what made him a champion. And and I think and this comes probably from having a background of parents that were both ballers. Not ballers like this, but ballers like this. He made a very big boy decision at 13 years old, and that was basically, I'm going to immerse myself in basketball. And I mean, and it takes that immersion to become like that. It takes that obsession and immersion to become great. If you're dabbling with women or men, if you're dabbling with whatever you're dabbling with, if it's music, if it's art, if it's this, if it's that, if it's too many things, and you're not just locked into that one thing and immersing yourself from breakfast, lunch to dinner, basketball or fighting or whatever it is, then more than likely you'll be average. But if you're doing that, more than likely you won't be average. It's too much. So I have a high respect and a high regard for the
he
Black
was super
Mamba.
he was the David Goggins of basketball.
Really and also work ethic as well,
Yeah, man. He was out. He used to spend he was there 3 hours before everybody else, and then another hour after everybody after the game. And he was ridiculous, man. Shout out Kobe. Shout out Black Mamba.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Rest in peace, bro.
And he rest in peace.
Absolutely.
What does training look like for you? I don't know if you can speak on that. You got a fight coming up. If you can't speak on it, I get it. But I mean, is it like multiple times a day? Is there like a workout component as well as in the ring? What is that like?
Right now, not multiple times a day because recovery is just as important for me as my training is. So I just get in a good solid 2 hours, maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. A lot of just heavy, I do a lot of weighted stuff, a lot of lateral work, a lot of conditioning. I don't really do any heavy sparring really anymore until fight camp rolls around, and even then I don't do super hard sparring. I don't need that. And nor do I really promote heavy sparring even for the up and comers. I feel like with my guys, like I want them to have hard sparring, but that should only be done at least once a month because the brain is important. You don't need to know what it feels like every fucking Friday. It's hard sparring once a month, and then heavy conditioning, situational drills, a lot of just basics, just things that I notice that other girls don't do that I want to do because I don't want to be like all these other fighters in there. I want to be different when I go in there. I want to put in the work and just be better, and I think a lot of female fighters have a very linear approach, whether it's this way or this way. Rose Namajunas probably is a good example. She does decent lateral, but still loopy stuff because it's MMA. It's like not smaller spaces. But I still feel like girls just have that lateral linear, whether it's this way or this way. So I'm really just trying to differentiate myself with the lateral movements, with the lateral cuts. Timing the blitz is better. A bunch of different things. I have so many different answers for you. I'm sorry. It's just like
I love it.
You're gonna ask me about fighting stuff, like we're gonna geek out about fighting stuff. You know?
Oh yeah, definitely. I love it.
I love it.
We're fighting geeks too. So
Yeah.
don't even
Kidding me? I'm over here. I'm over here eating. Trust me.
I was gonna say.
Oh, I hope she shuts up. No, I'm over here like more.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was gonna say somebody that I noticed that has really good lateral movement. Myra Buena Silva.
No, I don't. UFC.
UFC. She fought for a belt recently and lost.
Okay. Okay.
I forgot who she fought exactly. I think I want to say Shevchenko.
Okay.
Was it Shevchenko? I don't know. I could be wrong. But anyway, just to speak about her, she has really good back and forth lateral movement.
Right.
I like the way she moves. If you want to look her up, you know what I'm saying? She darts in and out really well.
I believe you. Yeah. The darting, like I sometimes I feel like with that Alexa Grasso Valentina fight, like they gotta take chances, man. Like sometimes I feel like, it's like you need action. And I'm gonna bring action. I'm old school.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
definitely. All of your fights have been exciting, the ones that I've watched.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think that's something that I think I saw in an interview somewhere that you mentioned about David Feldman, the guy from BKFC. I mean, yeah, BKFC. You were saying like that, he likes action. So my question for you about that gentleman is like how is he versus talking with anyone else in his position in other promotions you've been in? Is he just a real cool guy? Is he laid back? If you could speak on that.
I mean, I met him I briefly met him in the fighters meeting. And I mean, he seemed kind of down to earth from what I could gather, but I didn't have much interaction with him. So
do you ever have, like, in the promotions you've been in? Because I don't know how it works.
Sure.
It seems like Dana White has a lot of interactions with his fighters.
Sure.
Is it that way in other promotions with the boss? Or
with Invicta, the commentators were more interactive than Shannon Knapp herself. But I did get to meet Shannon. But I was more interactive with the commentators for both BKFC and Invicta more so than like Shannon Knapp or David Feldman himself. But their crews they're always very kind and respectful, and they took care of us. So I mean, shout out to the crews on those promotions, and
Word.
Word. Oh yeah.
Word. So here's a question that I have that this might be one you may have to think about for a second, because you've had a long career. But what is what is one of your favorite and or least favorite thing about this business?
The fight politics.
Politics?
The fight politics that comes along with it. And BKFC, it is very political, if you're not a heavy influencer or an OnlyFans girl, it can be kind of tricky to get on a fight card when wanted, or at least have due diligence notice to have a proper fight camp. So probably just a fight politics more than anything. However, I get it because it is life, and then it's the politics of life. I understand that. I accept that. Frustrating, yeah. But I mean, it's such as life. So the fight politics of everything, and sometimes opportunities that probably come easier for others because of more so their position instead of the true work that has been put in, or like, I mean, I posted something a few weeks ago about, like, would you still be doing this if you had that, the fame? Would you still be doing this for these reasons? We're going through injuries and stuff. Would you still be doing it? Would you still be trying? Would you still be loving what you do? Or would you I seen some fighters on, that just you don't see them anymore because they've reached that level of competition where they're not willing to work as hard, but they've got there because of just, whatever it may have been.
Yeah,
So
pure talent, whatever, just
yeah. So
like
yeah,
that.
the fight politics of more so is the thing that I dislike the most, but I learned to work with it. So
I feel
Yeah, I feel that.
that. What's your favorite martial arts? Whether you've done it or you maybe one day would like to do it. I mean, there's so many. It's so broad.
yeah,
You know,
it is.
is there any? And I'm MMA is it's kind of its own thing. So I
Sure.
mean, like a true. I'm not saying MMA is not a true martial art. It is, but I mean more
Right.
traditional martial art. Is there anything that maybe that you find to be beautiful to you that you'd like or want to do?
I mean, probably because my body wouldn't handle it, but like I wish maybe I could have learned judo, you know.
Judo.
Yeah,
Cool.
judo. I mean, I thought it was just throws, but judo is like, leads into submissions as well,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah. A lot of grappling.
I didn't realize that until Rhonda came into the picture that judo was more than just tossing, you know,
Yeah.
go
Hip
around.
tosses and stuff like that.
Yeah. So maybe judo, because it'd be cool to like just freaking fly people.
Yeah, yeah, and and you
Yeah.
said because of your body, but I would think it would actually be good because judo, from what I've seen, you can toss someone my cousin's size, with
Right.
proper technique.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So
Yeah.
he'd have to watch out.
One of my
Yeah.
favorite judo guys, I think they call judokas. One
Yeah.
of my favorite judokas, Caro Parisian. He
Okay.
used to be in the
I heard
UFC.
it before. The
Yeah,
police.
if you look him up, man, he's really good. Yeah, like literally, like 1 minute you're in a over under clinch, and the
Yeah.
next minute you're upside down. Like,
Look at that. Yeah. Judo's pretty cool.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, judo's dope. Cousin, you got any other questions you want to ask Miss Fearless?
I had one, but I feel like I already know the answer after talking to you. Like, I was gonna ask you, I was gonna ask you, do you fight to become more of who you are or to forget who you used to be? But after talking to you, I feel like you're this is who you are. You're a fighter through and through. Like,
Yeah, you do know me. We're Hana, that's why.
yeah.
Heck yeah.
You do. That's absolutely correct. Yep, what you just said. I forgot
Definitely,
the
man.
question, but yeah, you're correct on
And
that.
that's like me. I have one last question too that I didn't ask. I feel like I know the answer to that too. My
Okay.
question was gonna be, when you look in the mirror, do you see an athlete or do you see a warrior? And I feel like the answer would be a warrior.
Yes, you're right. It's all right.
Yeah,
Oh,
after getting to
yeah.
know you, man, you're
Oh, yeah.
awesome. You're an awesome person, a
Oh,
dope ass talented fighter.
Word.
So
appreciate it.
like I just, what I'm saying, wanted to use these last couple minutes to just thank you and appreciate you and your career. Like you've been amazing in out the ring. Like you're a dope person.
Real quick, I hope you like the experience here with Keeping It Blunt. Is there anything you would like
Oh,
to
yeah.
tell the world about us? Maybe that since you
Yeah, give us a little shout out
Yeah,
promo.
absolutely. I would love to tell the world about you guys. You guys I genuinely am saying this because I've been on a lot of podcasts. I truly, truly loved it on here. You guys remind me a lot of my just Ohana for real kind, and I just your professionalism as well. Like you guys actually have you know stuff about the people you bring on, like you have facts and stuff, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, man, I love your guys podcast. I'm gonna go I think I subscribed there. I think I pushed like I joined already or whatever. So yeah,
Yeah.
you guys have a great podcast, and I look forward to how it's gonna expand and grow because you guys got good energy. I love it. I love it.
thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you so much. If you
Absolutely.
could give us a big keeping it blunt, baby.
Keeping that blood, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, cousin, what's up? You think America and the world is tired of hearing our voice?
They might be a little tired of us. You know, they'll never get tired of the big fearless one, Monica Franco. You know what I'm saying?
Right on, you guys.
Thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate you, and we look forward to seeing you again.
That's right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I try not to look too far ahead. I just want to take it a step at a time, one fight at a time, and just keep grinding, keep working, keep getting better, you know. So right now, I just hope that I can get more opportunities.